Alright, so that is about Alright, so that's about it about its program. Alright. Now these countries are you IELTS Reyes here and welcome back to my channel. So here is another video, but this time I will be talking about IELTS. Yes, you heard that right. That's the International English Language Testing System. The question is, why did I suddenly decide to talk about IELTS? It's because from the very first video that I uploaded here on my YouTube channel, I mentioned that I will be talking about IELTS and I'm going to share everything that I know about it. So for those who are reviewing and those who are about to review, or those who just need extra help with their review, you should watch this. So what is IELTS? IELTS is what we call the International English Language Testing System. It is one of the most well-known English proficiency tests which individuals take or students take if they have plans on moving, studying, or working in English-speaking countries. Now these countries are UK, Canada, Australia, and New Zealand. The IELTS has two modules. The first one is the academic module. The academic module will be chosen by a student who has plans on acquiring a student visa, or simply for educational purposes. The second one is the general training module. This will be chosen by a student who plans to acquire a working visa or an immigrant visa. There are two test centers, namely British Council and IDP. Now it is not true that British Council is more difficult than IDP or IDP is more difficult than British Council, because Cambridge Language Assessment is the one who creates the exam and they just distribute these exams to these test centers and they just conduct the tests. Now let's talk about the four test areas. These are the listening, reading, writing, and speaking. First is the listening test. It is good for 40 minutes, wherein 30 minutes is your test proper time. This will be the time that you're going to listen to an audio and you're going to hear conversations, either monologue or dialogue. The 10 minutes is for your transfer time. This will be your time to transfer your answers from your questionnaire to your answer sheet. The listening test contains 4 sections, and it is good to know that these sections get difficult as you progress through the exam. The main challenge for the listening test is the British accent, as this will be used all throughout the exam. Although you are going to encounter different types of accent, wherein it could be the American accent or the Australian accent. Next is the reading test. The reading test is good for 60 minutes, but this time you don't have a transfer time, unlike in the listening test. That is why you need to make sure that within 60 minutes, you were already able to transfer your answers from your questionnaire to your answer sheet. It contains 3 sections, and just like the listening test, these sections get difficult as you progress through the exam. Same with the listening test as well, you are going to answer a total of 40 items. The reading test is like your reading comprehension test during high school and elementary. So you are going to encounter lengthy articles and you're going to answer questions right after. Next up is the writing test. You will be given 60 minutes, but you're going to answer 2 tasks. The first task will be different for the 2 modules. So in task 1 academic, you're going to answer a picture analysis, while in task 1 general training, you are going to answer or write a letter. In the second task or task 2, it will be the same for the both modules. The both modules are going to answer an essay. Task 1 requires you to write at least 150 to a maximum of 230 words, while in Task 2, you should write a minimum of 250 to a maximum of 350 words. Lastly, we have the speaking test. The duration of this test is a minimum of 11 to a maximum of 14 minutes. It will be a face-to-face interview, and it is composed of 3 parts. The first part will be introductory questions. Mainly, you are going to be asked about yourself, your family, and your personal preferences. Part 2 is your task card or your individual long term. In this part, you will be given a random topic, You're going to talk about something for 2 minutes. But before that, you will be given 1 minute to prepare. Part 3 is what we call the discussion. In this part, whatever topic was given to you in Part 2 will be further questioned. Take note that in Part 3, there will be a lot of follow-up questions about your topic in Part 2. So those are your 4 test areas. Usually, the written tests, which we call the listening, reading, and writing, are usually scheduled on a Saturday or on a weekend. Now, the speaking test is usually scheduled prior or even after the written tests. Now let's talk about the IELTS tips. First, do your research. You need to know everything about IELTS, the 4 test areas, the different types of tests, even the online registration, so you would know how to register for the exam when you are ready to do so. Second is the practice tests. Make sure that after knowing everything, you should start with your practice tests. There are a lot of free resources online. You could start with listening and reading first. Even on YouTube, you can find a lot of listening tests there. You can check the link that I provided below so that you can start with your online practice tests. Third is you need to read a lot. Don't just rely with the IELTS reading test materials. There are a lot of websites online. My 2 most favorite websites to visit are hbr.org or Harvard Business Review and Reader's Digest or the rd.com. HBR focuses more on self-help, career, and corporate articles, but the Reader's Digest discusses anything under the sun. Next is your word power list. Why do you need to have a word power list? Vocabulary is present in all test areas. That is why every time you read, and if you encounter complex words, list them down right away. This word power list will help you widen your vocabulary range. Lastly, you need an IELTS expert to help you with your review. This is true especially with the speaking and writing test. You need to have constant feedback because you need to know where your strengths and weaknesses, in what area should you improve more, and in what area are you really good at. Do not compare. So what do I mean by this? If you have a friend who already took the exam, this friend might tell you about his or her experience. And this could initially make you feel anxious. And you could think, what if what happened to my friend could happen to me? What if I would take the exam again because I failed? So please do not compare yourself with the progress of others or with what happened with their exam, because you are different from them. So just focus on your review and trust that you can. Alright, so that's about it for my first IELTS vlog. Thanks for watching!